Turn to page 71 in your student books. Let's look at our content focus. Our content focus for this unit is friendship and belonging. What do those mean to you? What do you think the story will be about? Do you have friends that feel like family members? Have you ever felt like you didn't fit in or didn't belong? In Unit 1, we read an excerpt or part from the literary text Holes. Now we are going to read an excerpt from another piece of literature, The Outsiders. The Outsiders is a novel, or a rather long fiction story. A narrator in first-person point of view tells this story. That means that the narrator, or person telling the story, is a character in the story. Where is the narrator? Who is the author of this novel? The author's purpose is the reason that he or she wrote the text. Authors write for different purposes. They write to entertain, to persuade, or to inform, or to teach. Knowing the author's purpose can help a reader understand a text better. The Outsiders was written to entertain us. The book was also written to express frustration with different cliques or social groups at the author's high school. I want you to go ahead and kind of glance through the text, and then I want you to record the author's name and the author's purpose. Before we read the excerpt from The Outsiders, we will watch a short video clip to help build our background knowledge. I'm going to play that clip now. Now let's look at our big idea questions. Do people have an innate need to fit in? Why or why not? What is the effect of hatred between social groups? How would you go about answering those questions? Now I want you to jot down your answer. Remember that innate means something in a person naturally. It's not something they learn while they're growing up. We'll come back to these questions after we finish reading the story. You can add to your answers as you gain information and perspective. Now let's look at the narrative preview checklist. In just a few minutes, I'm going to give you some time to look over the Outsiders excerpt on pages 74 through 81. I want you to look at the title. What clue does it provide about the passage? I want you to look at the pictures included. What additional information is added by the illustrations? And I want you to look at the margin information. What vocabulary is important to understand the story? So, looking at the passage and previewing it, what is the title? What clue does the title provide about the passage? Who are the outsiders? Let's look to see what additional information the pictures provide. Who is pictured near the title? What are they wearing? What else do you notice? Scan through the remaining pictures. What do you notice about the facial expressions? What does that tell you about the story? Now I want you to turn to page 72 in your student books. Let's take a look at the vocabulary words from the first text we will read in this unit. I'm going to say each word aloud. You will repeat the word and write it in the third column. Then you will rate your knowledge of the word. Let's look at our vocabulary rating scale. Remember that 0 means that I've never heard the word before. 1 means I've heard the word, but I'm not sure how to use it. 2 means I'm familiar with the word, but I'm not sure if I know the correct meaning. And 3 means I know the meaning of the word and can use it correctly in a sentence. Remember, the points are there to help you know which words you need to focus on. By the end of the unit, you should be able to change all your ratings to a 3. That's the goal. Now, I'm going to read each word aloud. You're going to repeat it, write it in the third column, and rate it. Falter. Abruptly. Resemblance. Deserve. Ornery. Casual. Possession. Hesitation. Strict. Deny. Now, let's look and preview the vocabulary some more. Our first word is falter. Let's read the word together. Falter. Falter means to fade off or stumble or to lose confidence. What means to fade off or stumble, to lose confidence? Many people feel nervous and falter when they are trying to express deep feelings. If I don't prepare note cards, I falter when speaking in public. Someone who is just learning to read may falter when he or she comes across a new word. Let's read the next word together, abruptly. Abruptly means in a sudden or unexpected way. What means in a sudden and unexpected way? If you stop abruptly on a busy sidewalk, the person behind you might bump into you. It startles me when a siren or alarm goes off abruptly. When the TV show ended abruptly, many of its fans were upset. Let's look at the next word together, resemblance. A resemblance is a similarity or likeness between two things. What means a similarity or likeness between two things? There is a strong physical resemblance between my grandmother and me. Have you ever noticed the resemblance between some dog owners and their dogs? German settlers were drawn to a certain part of Texas by the resemblance between it and their homeland. Let's read the next word together, deserve. Deserve means to earn something by your words or actions. What means to earn something by your words or actions? When you work hard during the week, you deserve to sleep in on a Saturday. If I ask a rude question, I deserve a rude response. The person with the fewest absences deserves the attendance award. Let's read the next word together, ornery. That's a funny looking word and a funny sounding word. Ornery means grouchy or bad-tempered. What means grouchy or bad-tempered? Ornery people are difficult to be around. My ornery neighbor complains about everyone's yards and pets. Small children can get ornery when they are tired. Let's read the next word together, casual. Casual means relaxed or laid back. What means relaxed or laid back? It was hard for me to be casual about final exams in college. I took them very seriously. A casual greeting from a young soldier might offend a high-ranking officer. Your prom date might not enjoy dinner at a casual restaurant. Let's read the next word together. Possession. A possession is something owned. What word means something owned? Old family photos are a treasured possession for many people. If I had to leave my home in a hurry, I would take my family photos. They are my most prized possessions. In some communities, people have no possessions. Instead, everything is shared. Let's read the next word together. Hesitation. A hesitation is a delay or a pause. What word means a delay or a pause? When I was offered this job, I accepted it without hesitation. If the jury agrees without hesitation, they come to a verdict right away. After a brief hesitation during my sophomore year in college, I decided to become a teacher. Let's read the next word together. Strict. Strict means firm or having many rules and expecting to be obeyed. What means having many rules and expecting to be obeyed? My strict Aunt Martha would never let us jump on the bed. Parents are sometimes strict because they want to keep their children safe. A strict coach might want his players in bed by 9 at night and on the field by 6 in the morning. Let's read the last word together. Deny. To deny something is to say it isn't true. What means to say something isn't true? Many criminals deny that they are guilty. You cannot deny the fact that it is daytime. A spy is trained to deny having important information. Now turn to page 73 in your student books. Let's look over this story map that you're going to complete while reading the chapter in the book. Remember that the setting is the time and place of the story. The characters are the people, animals, or things that interact in the story. The initiating event is the problem that starts the story. The conflict is the plot or sequence of events. The climax is the turning point. The resolution is the solution to the problem. The conclusion is the situation at the story's end. Now I want you to turn to page 74 in your student books. Now that we have previewed vocabulary and identified what has happened in the previous chapters, it's time to read. Pay attention to the setting and the characters. One way to pay attention to the characters is to keep track of the dialogue or who is talking. Dialogue is noted with quotation marks. How is dialogue noted? I will read the first paragraph to model the reading behaviors of a good reader. While I read aloud, your eyes should be on the text. Follow along using your writing utensil as a pointer. No one ever said life was easy, but Pony Boy is pretty sure he's got things figured out. He knows that he can count on his brothers, Dairy and Soda Pop, and he knows that he can count on his friends, true friends who would do anything for him, like Johnny and Two-Bit. And when it comes to the Soch, a vicious gang of rich kids who enjoy beating up on the greasers like him and his friends, he knows that he can count on them for trouble. But one night, someone takes things too far, and Pony Boy's world is turned upside down. What do you notice at the end of this paragraph? Good readers pause to stop and think while reading. They reflect on what they read before reading on. Sometimes good readers stop and think. They make a mental prediction about what will happen next. Sometimes good readers ask themselves questions while reading. Let's look at number 1. What do you think will happen to Pony Boy? Let me model thinking after reading the first paragraph. I predict that something bad is going to happen to one of Pony Boy's brothers or friends. Don't stop long enough to let your mind wander away from the text. This should be a brief pause to gather your thoughts. I'm going to advance to the next slide, and then I'm going to have you answer the question, and then you're going to continue reading silently using the cues that I used when I was modeling the first paragraph. As you read each paragraph, I want you to look up so that we can, each page, I want you to look up so that we can move on to the next question.